home ownership is a huge dream in the hearts of a lot of young people, a lot of middle-aged people, and finances fuels that. So if you were to like kind of lean into that a little bit, what would be your perspective and take on that to families?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's, even as you say that, I've seen the same thing, right? I've seen the same thing generationally. What got me into it in the beginning was to really understand finances was as a young man. I went, when I went to college, freshman year, like it is still today. I went up to the vendor booths. We had a football game. They had all the vendor booths. They call it the Wares Fair, right? So you can find all the different things going on in the community, whatever. A lot of banks there, a lot of credit cards. They said, "Hey, man, you want a T-shirt for the football game?" Yeah, I love a T-shirt. So I just signed up here, sign up for this credit card. I had no idea. Wasn't taught these financial principles. So I went and got that credit card. It was great. I mean, I went and charged that thing up throughout the year and didn't realize that I was going to have to pay that by a certain time. And then I saw the interest charges and different things going on. I spent my summer between freshman and sophomore year working my tail off, working 2 jobs, trying to pay that off. And I got in that situation, a bad situation. And so I never want to be there again. So I need to understand. And most people just haven't learned. I don't know if you're growing up in a family where you're taught financial principles, man, that's a great hallelujah right there. That's a big praise. Just that you have an advantage. To know that most people don't have that. I find that teaching personal finance at NGU, most kids come in, they have no idea how to even structure a budget or what kind of goals to set. So in the end, that's why I looked at finances, knew I had to go further, and now want to help people get to that place where they can understand their finances, set goals, and achieve those goals. And the way to do that really does come down to being able to put it all on the table and say, okay, here's where we are. We have this amount of income. We have these expenses. How do we get those expenses below our income, not spend more than we earn? And then with those future goals, stage those things out so that we're saving in a way that's going to get us there in that time frame. That reality check, that gut check, it can be very difficult to start that process. A lot of people want to avoid starting the process. But the encouragement would be to go through the short-term pain for a lot of long-term gain as you get the financial house in order. If you can create that budget, if you can set those goals, you will then find yourself achieving those goals in I wouldn't say fairly short order, but I would say in a way that allows you to see progress. It shows what you really can do and the power of money and the power of compounding interest, the power of budgeting as you work through it. So it does come down to what people's goals are and then the process for getting there. And there are processes. There's some really, really good tools, some really good strategies to get people where they want to go.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this. It's countercultural because we live in an
Absolutely.
instant gratification society, right? That's why the lure of credit cards are amazing, right? It's get what you want faster, and then the back end of it is it's just going to cost you 10 times as much, or impact you from an instant gratification moment today that prevents you from getting this thing that you really wanted long term because now you got credit implications and all these different things happening. And I think there's a like even myself, similar story in college, got a credit card, never used it. But I was told by someone, hey, you need to get one because that'll establish your credit. And I never used it for anything. And one of my uncles was like, well, like if you put gas in your truck and you use it, when you get home that evening, pay it off. and I was like, I'm just afraid of doing that. I never used it for anything. Well, me and my wife decided to get married, and she had picked out these bridesmaids dresses for all of her girls, and I think some of them, but we had a big wedding. I don't remember, 10 bridesmaids, 10 grooms, insanity. Some of them had bought them, but others, you could only get to this one place, and they're all young, and everybody's trying to figure it out. And she was like, do you think we could just order all these dresses, and then everybody could just pay us back for them, in cash or something? I'm like, sure. So she took my credit card, and we bought all those bridesmaid dresses. And it was like $2,200 worth of dresses or something. And I'm thinking like, man, that's a lot of money. Like, and they bought it, and then some of them paid us, some of them didn't, but we'd get money, and they'd be like, hey, we got this cash, we'll go out to eat. And I never thought about it because it's like $19 a month, right? Okay, just pay that. Fast forward 10 years, and I still had a balance on that credit card. It had never been used for anything else. At this point in time, the 0%'s gone. I'm paying like 34.9%, interest, and I owe more now, 2 times the amount that was originally charged. 10 years later, I've been paying $19 a month for 120 months, and the balance has grown.